Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I am your host, Sean Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ Media production. We believe deeply in digital hospitality. We've been doing this show since 2017. If you're new, welcome. If you've been a long-time listener and you're part of the community, we are grateful for your support. Our job is to get you seats at the table to the brightest minds in the hospitality space, the best marketers, the best storytellers. And we believe that every business needs to be digital first. It's 2024. Brick and mortar businesses especially need to be digital first. And we also believe that every business is in the hospitality business, whether they know it or not. So I'm very excited because I have an expert today. Her name is Heather Dratler, and she is with Next Level Burger and Veggie Grills. She also has her own agency. She's a marketing, branding, technology badass. And I'm lucky that I met her before. I knew that at some point we would circle back and get her on this show. And I'm happy that today we get to share all her secrets with you guys, the audience. Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Sean. And I just got to throw it out there. I do work for an agency that was founded by a good friend of mine, Jordan Blakesley. I got to give her credit for the agency.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I love the fact that you are doing multiple things. I think that's the world that we live in. It gives us a competitive advantage. One of my favorite Danny Meyer quotes is ABCD, always be collecting the dots so that you can always be connecting the dots. And I think the more that we have different exposure to different parts of the business, the more that we realize a lot of the brick and mortar things that we need to do, they're all similar. I mean, that's why I have such a deep belief in this show, is that I know there's a restaurant owner somewhere on the other side of the globe that has internet access that will find this on YouTube or find it on Instagram or maybe listen on Spotify. And at some point, they're going to listen to something that you say, Heather, that's going to help transform their business, to help introduce them to a tech solution that maybe you have, or maybe an idea, a lesson, a story. And that's why we do the show. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being here. Let's start first with Next Level Burger. What is it? What are you guys building? How big is it? Give me size and scope.
Absolutely. Sure. So Next Level Burger is America's first 100% plant-based burger joint chain. We were founded in Bend, Oregon in 2014, now 10 locations strong. And actually in January, we just acquired Veggie Grill, which is now Veggie Grill by Next Level. So combined, we are America's largest vegan restaurant company with 25 locations, coast to coast.
That's amazing. And how long have you been working for Next Level?
You know, I first started working with them on the agency side in 2018, but have been working in-house as the VP of Marketing and Brand since 2022.
And why did you make that switch? How did they recruit you over?
Yeah.
You were so good at what you did?
I like to think so. No, I was working in-house as the VP of Marketing for Sage Hospitality here in Denver.
Okay.
And when I went to move on from Sage, you know, I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew I really enjoyed consulting with different restaurant groups and getting my hands in different aspects of the industry, like you were talking about. And so I reconnected with the CEO of Next Level, and we kind of talked about, you know, how could we dip our toe into a working relationship in a way that felt good for them too, right? You know, they're operate a lot like a startup, just really kind of nimble and quick, but also, you know, want to pick the right people for the right roles. So I was able to work out this great arrangement where I'm doing some work with B Public Relations and also embedded with Next Level. And for me, it was a no-brainer. I love the mission. I love what they're doing. I think it's really innovative and really exciting to see a plant-based restaurant chain really take off in this way. Somebody's going to win the category.
What is the mission? Bring me into the founder story, because I read something, but I would love to hear what you have to say about it, because it's fascinating.
So Next Level was founded by a husband and wife team, Matt and Sierra de Gruyter. And really, you know, Sierra was the first one of the two of them to start exploring vegetarianism and then veganism for ethical and health reasons. And Matt, he'll be the first to tell you that he used to eat 10 pounds of red meat a week. He used to work in the oil and gas industry, farthest thing you could think of from a vegan. But as he learned more about it, you know, he really started to have this crisis of conscience and understanding that the way that we eat really affects not only our health, but also the health of the planet and the well-being of other people and animals on the planet. And so it really kind of took off from there. And it is a very values-driven organization. And I know a lot of companies say that, but they live it day in and day out. And they are on a mission to help fight climate change and create a brighter future for the world through plant-based eating.
What exactly are they doing on the sustainability side? I know it's one thing to say it.
Yeah,
It's another thing to actually go through the procurement process of figuring out who can actually deliver on that promise.
absolutely.
How have they been leading in that regards?
Absolutely. So they are willing to spend to do the right thing. And so you will never see me, even for a photo shoot, buying a cheap plastic product on Amazon for a 1 day photo shoot, right? Everything we do is going to be recycled materials, or compostable, anything that I print from a marketing standpoint. First, the question is, do I need to print this? Is printing even the right move here? Do we need to? And if we do, are we using materials that are going to be earth friendly, even if it costs a little bit more for the business? So everything from the to-go ware to what you see in the stores is compostable materials. We offer recycling and compost wherever available in all of our stores. So it's something they take really seriously, and it's, up and down the supply chain and also in the decisions we make on a daily basis.
Are these franchise locations?
No, they're all company owned.
And is there any plans for franchising?
Not at this time. We're
Not at
looking to
this
open
time.
1,000 locations from coast to coast and do it to the next level standards.
Wow, amazing. And what is the current growth strategy? How many?
Hmm.
What's the most recent location that's been opened?
We opened our Denver location of Next Level Burger when I first came on board in August of 2022. Obviously, the Veggie Grill acquisition was a big deal this January.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you know about Veggie Grill, but it's been around for a long time, beloved brand, but was struggling. And so we came in and we've really worked to turn that around so that we're in a position to grow and grow big. And we're really excited for the next step.
That's exciting. Can you share? So, you guys got Yelp's #1 burger in Denver. Is that correct?
We did, yeah. That was voted by the people.
Voted by the people, according to Yelp. The radio station said, in case you were wondering, yes, the #1 burger went to a vegan burger joint. Welcome to 2024. I think it's very exciting to be leading in a category. Can you talk about competition over collaboration versus other plant-based healthy options? How do you guys
Absolutely. I
compete? How do you
think
collaborate?
Yeah, I think we're of the mind that rising tides raise all ships, right? And so we don't see it necessarily as competition when we look at other competitors in the space. So something like a Slutty Vegan, for example, right?
Yep.
That's another super beloved brand in the space. We love what they're doing. And I think we're speaking to different aspects of the community of who might be interested in that food. Right. So Slutty Vegan is very much that idea that you can have that same indulgent, delicious, not plant-based meal that you're used to, but in a plant-based way. I think we offer a bit more of an option. Do you want that Whole Foods quinoa and mushroom-based patty, or do you want something that's a little bit more indulgent and reminiscent of the meat that you're used to eating? So we kind of span the gamut a little bit. And I think, we look at these competitors as helping us on our mission to change the world. We all have the same goals at the end of the day of making the world a better place. So, anytime we can collaborate with other vegan brands, we're super into it.
When did you fall in love with technology?
Hmm. That's a great question. I think it really took off. I mean, when did I fall in love with technology? 1997, man. Like get my first email address and all that good stuff. But from a restaurant perspective, really when I was working at Sage, I had the opportunity to completely reimagine the tech stack, and that was so exciting for me. And since then, with other projects on a consulting basis, I've had the opportunity to look at restaurant tech stacks in different environments, whether that be full service or QSR. And every situation is unique. And I think it's really interesting to figure out the best tools for a given business and how to make that work for you, because the power of those integrations is really incredible.
Hey everyone, Avi Gorin, CEO and co-founder of Marqii, and I want to talk about the customer journey for a second. You never know as a restaurant owner where your guests are truly coming from. End of the day, we do see some patterns around two types of search behaviors: direct versus discovery. Direct search, for an example, would be jumping into Google and saying Cali barbecue hours, right? I know where I want to go to eat, but I'm missing a key detail. I need a little bit more information. Discovery, which is the bulk of searches, is barbecue in San Diego, restaurants near me, takeout near me, right? One of the best ways to be found for more discovery searches is leveraging keywords. Reviews are basically free content for you to leverage. Think about keywords that are relevant to your brand, your location, and include as many of those in your review responses as possible, right? How can you go about doing this? Let's set up reports, utilize tools like Google Trends, find out what's going on in your area and how you can help leverage these keywords and review responses, because someone else is doing that, right? If you need some examples, you could do anything from including summer menu, gluten-free menu, leverage specific menu items like the dreaded and beloved spice pumpkin anything in your review responses, right? Let them know what's coming. Let your reviewers know something they should come back and try. And of course, if all of this just seems overwhelming and daunting because you're already running a restaurant and have enough on your plate, just leverage the team at Marqii to do this for you. We handle all of this. We're experts in this space. We can automate this so it's just another item that you know you are taking care of. Again, that's marqii.com, marqii.com. No you. However, we did recently buy marquii.com. So if you do misspell it, we got you. You'll still find us. We can still help you.
The results are in. National Restaurant Association show. Kyle and Sarah and myself, we were at the Davos sales tax booth and we were polling restaurant owners on the floor. This was a very unscientific poll, but the results are resounding. Restaurant owners do not like sales tax. Nobody likes sales tax. Doesn't matter what business owner you are, small business, big business. Davo automates the sales tax process. We are so grateful that Davo is the sponsor of this show. They automate sales tax at our Cali barbecue restaurants. It is $50 a month. It integrates with all the major point of sale partners, including Toast. So if you want to sleep at night, if you want to not worry about sales tax, go to Davo, check them out, Davo Sales Tax. Let us know how they're helping automate your sales tax in your restaurant so that we can share your Davo story on digital hospitality. So total 27 locations across both Veggie
25.
Grills. 25 locations. How many states?
Ooh, gosh, I don't have that off the top of my head. California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Texas, New York, Boston, 7?
7 states. Okay, we'll go with 7 states. Managing your online presence for reputation management is a daunting task. What do you do to... I actually went through your Google reviews and your Yelp reviews, and couldn't believe, well, I can believe because I know the answer, but I'd love for you to share with the audience how well you do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you share how you do it and
I
why
can, and
is
I'd
it
love to
important?
tell you what we were doing before and what
Sure.
we do now and how we've made our process so much more efficient through technology. So Next Level CEO, Matt, is customer obsessed. He reads every single review, and it's important that we respond to every single review within a 24 to 48 hour period. So previously that fell to the GMs and the operations team, and Matt was in there himself doing it. I think our CFO had his hands in it at one point. I mean, it was an all hands on deck endeavor. Labor of love. But I introduced the company to Marqii, which is one of my favorite tech tools for the restaurant space and hospitality space in general. As you know, Marqii really allows us to still have that level of visibility, and Matt can still see every review, every response, but do it in a way that's centralized in one platform. Yep. So that we are able to cut down on a lot of time and create a lot more efficiencies. We're not logging into Google and Yelp and TripAdvisor and all these different platforms to look at the reviews and respond separately. Instead, there's one platform that we're logging into where we have full visibility. We have approval workflows so that we cut down on the back and forth between GMs and regional operations leads on, is that an appropriate response to the review? That review process is a lot faster now. So it's allowed us to train our teams better, to respond to those reviews faster, and to get better insights because everything is consolidated in one platform where we can really look at trends and topics and things that are happening. Maybe we're identifying operational issues in the restaurants before they become a bigger issue, or we're able to cut it off, where we might not have noticed it for a while in person. So it really has enabled just greater insight into our business and that guest feedback.
How do you feel about AI generated response, which Marqii has recently rolled out?
To be honest, we're not using that yet. Okay. I think our Matt is very big on the human touch. And what I
Yep.
like personally about Marqui's tool is that it starts it for you, but then it allows a human to come in and
Yep.
actually make those changes. And I think that's really important. And I think that's something that we're seeing with AI in general. We love AI at Next Level. It's definitely something we're experimenting with. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we get on that Marqii AI train at some point. But I think the important thing is the human touch and not just
Yep.
leaving things to an AI hands off, I'm done. So that's what I like the most about Marqui's approach is that it still does have that human element. I think one great example, we were running automated campaigns as many restaurant groups do
Yep.
to our guests in response for feedback. We also use a tool called Tattle for our internal feedback. And we were setting up these automated campaigns that would gift guests bonus coins through our loyalty program. In exchange for reviews, right? So they give us a bad review. We want to make sure we're compensating them for that.
Yep.
And that's something that was being done manually, but we thought, oh, maybe we can make this a little faster and automate that process. And then we found that people were taking advantage of that. They figured out that they were getting these coins. And so they started leaving these 1-star reviews over and over again without actually purchasing anything, right? So it's kind of a good example of like, where is it helpful? And where's the line where there needs to be kind of a human paying attention?
Talk to me about the pillars of the tech stack for Next Level Burger.
Yeah, so Next Level has a pretty straightforward tech stack comparatively to some of the other restaurant groups I've worked with. Toast is the current point of sale system, and it's actually different on the Veggie Grill side since we acquired them, but we're working to consolidate. And then we've got our Tattle, we've got Marqii, and we also work with Thanks as our loyalty program provider and email, and that is integrated through Olo and Toast. And so kind of between Olo, Toast, Thanks, Marqii, and Tattle, I think that comprises the majority of our tech stack.
What advice would you give to restaurant groups looking to do a better job with branding?
Oh, with branding, I thought that the question went a different direction than I thought it would. I love brand. So brand is my favorite part of restaurants. And I think today's technology has enabled not only the integrations to track and see things like attribution and, retention and activation of your guests and all those like metrics and all that stuff is awesome. But I think tech also enables us to extend the brand and that storytelling and the experiences that you have within the 4 walls into the digital space in a way that's really meaningful. And so I would say to brands, first and foremost, know who you are, right? Like a brand is more than a logo. It's more than a tagline. What are your values? What are your pillars? What are the 3 to 4 things that remain true for you over a period of, at least 5 years, that every decision you make about that brand can be filtered up through those pillars? Does it fit the brand? Doesn't. Know who you are. And once you do, it makes a lot of your marketing decisions much easier because you're able to say, is this on track with the brand story that I'm trying to tell? Does this further my goals for this brand? And how am I extending this brand experience into the digital space? So for example, one of the things I love about Thanks is the ability to create rewards that are not only monetarily based, so free item, dollar off, percent off, but also experiential rewards. Mm-hmm. And we found that our guests love that. So we've done, like I said, some really values-driven campaigns. For example, this spring we did a birds and the bees pollinator protection campaign where we were serving LTO items representative of both the birds and the bees. And then we were educating our guests on the importance of pollinators to our ecosystems for Earth Month. Every order came with a packet of wildflower seeds for our guests to plant and attract pollinators. And it was cool to be able to extend that to the rewards in our rewards program, right? Like early access to get these things. And it wasn't any dollars off or anything like that, but people were so excited to participate. And it was so cool months later seeing these posts on social media where people were sharing the flowers that grew from the packets that they brought, right? So I think it's kind of that full circle of brand of tying in what you're doing on the restaurant level to the experiences that your guests are having with your loyalty program and on social with their online ordering experience, all of that.
How do you view social for a brand that crosses so many different states?
Yeah, I think best practice in what we do, we operate it from a brand perspective, right? We don't have individual channels for all those locations, but we do speak to local communities, right? So we're hosting an event next week at our Harvard location for Veggie Grill. We've got some great Harvard speakers coming out to talk about the benefits of a plant-based lifestyle, how that impacts ethics, climate, community, all of that. And that's something that I forgot where we went with that question. I was getting excited about my event.
No, about social media across
Oh,
multiple
social media.
states.
And so
Yeah.
that, is something that we've promoted not that heavily, to be honest with you. We've got
Yeah.
130 people signed up for this thing.
Sweet.
And we were able to do that with a couple of emails and a few social stories that said, hey, Harvard guests, if you're in Cambridge and you want to come to this event, here's a link to sign up. So we do still speak to our local audiences, absolutely, especially through stories, sometimes through static posts, and we'll just kind of call out the location. But we speak from a brand perspective because I think that's important to have a unified brand voice, especially as you grow and scale. It gets out of hand very quickly. And
Yeah.
then right. And I love this stuff, right? That's the balance too. How do you maintain those tight community connections in the local space that are going to, make you succeed while also having this unified brand voice that allows you to scale? And so one of the things that we do, and we use our digital channels in this as well, is really deep community partnerships. So we have a marketing and community manager that is solely focused on creating community give back initiatives and partnerships within our local markets. And then the related social content and, loyalty program, communications and email marketing and the ways that we use the digital space to share those. We even have a give back spotlight page on our website for Next Level where we share these initiatives that we've been doing in the community.
How do you view public relations in 2024 and beyond?
Oh man, I first got into PR in 2006, so it has changed dramatically since then. I think PR is still a really important tool in the toolbox. It is hard to sell that to operators sometimes because there is not a direct correlation necessarily where I can say
It's not a direct ROI.
it's not a direct ROI. And a lot of things in marketing aren't. And that is a really hard sell. And I think that's part of the beauty of the digital space is it allows you that ability to create that attribution and that ROI that you want to see while also leaving room for these softer touch points of marketing that, in my opinion, are just as important.
Yeah.
So I think, PR still, when I don't know if you do this, I do this. When I'm looking for a new happy hour, I'll kind of Google best happy hour in Denver and see what comes up. And I'm going to see that local Westward 5280 telling me what the best happy hours are. And I'm reading that. And people really do place still some level of trust in the media in terms of recommendations for restaurants and bars and things like that. So to me, to leave PR out of your marketing stack is a miss sometimes because you're losing that visibility. The guests aren't getting that external validation for what you're telling them.
That's great. What advice would you have to any restaurateur that's evaluating their tech stack?
Yeah. Integrations. Wow. And start with your point of sale too, because your point of sale can be a truly limiting factor. For those integrations. So I always start with point of sale and kind of build out from there. But I think those integrations are what's going to enable that visibility and that end-to-end view of your guests and their behavior. And that's what's really going to unlock for you the valuable insights that will make a difference to your business. So more than anything, I've seen a lot of restaurant groups, especially smaller ones, that have all these great tech tools that they're paying for separately that don't talk to each other. And when you do that, you can have all the greatest tools in the world, but if they don't talk to each other, you're wasting your money because you're not getting that full potential of what the tech could bring.
Awesome. So if you guys are listening to this, we would love for you to join us on Wednesday, Friday on LinkedIn Live. We do a Rising Tide LinkedIn Live call. We have a digital hospitality community of restaurateurs, tech professionals, sales professionals, marketers, content creators all over the world. We would love for you to join us 10 a.m. on Wednesdays Pacific time and 10 a.m. on Fridays Pacific time. You can follow Cali Barbecue Media on LinkedIn to get the links to those rooms. Before I let you go, Heather, I need to know about your personal tech stack. Are you an Android or an iPhone?
I'm an iPhone and a Mac computer.
iPhone, what version?
I got a 15 Pro, but my battery life is down to 84%. So I will be getting, a 14 Pro. It is
14 Pro.
The battery life is at 84% max, so I will be getting a 16 Pro in a couple weeks.
Awesome. And do you prefer emails or text messages?
Ooh, it depends on what we're talking about. I actually am a freak in that I am okay with my inbox being overloaded. I'm very organized, so I don't mind Outlook. But if we're trying to get things done quickly, text is the way.
Okay. And phone calls or text messages?
Don't call me.
Don't call me.
I'm a millennial. Come on.
So don't leave me a voicemail.
Please never leave me a voicemail.
Please never leave me a voicemail. Fair enough. Which map app do you use? Google Maps or Apple Maps?
Google Maps, but I don't know if I love it anymore.
Oh, no more? What are you switching to Waze? What's going
I
on?
haven't switched yet. They're all kind of annoying, honestly. But Google
Yeah.
has been giving me some really poor instructions as of late. So
How many emails do you get a day?
how many emails do I get a day? Oh my God, hundreds.
How many do you enjoy reading?
Plead the fifth. All of them, every last one.
What's your notification management protocol? Do you have notifications on for apps?
Oh, yes,
mode?
notifications on. But sometimes they pause them, like Slack is paused right now, so I could do this interview with you.
Okay, fair enough. What's your favorite social media app?
Oh God, I hate them all. No, Instagram still. I am a tried and true elder millennial. TikTok is wildly addictive, which is why I don't use it that often.
Yes, elder millennial. I go with fringe millennial. But yes, I like elder millennial. Yeah, fringe millennial works too. Let's see. Photos or videos?
For what? For social media, video.
Do you prefer personally taking photos or videos?
I prefer taking photos. I really like photography as an art form. And if you were to ask me, what's my favorite museum to go to, I'm never picking an art museum, but I will pick a photography exhibit or a photography museum. Got to shout out the Photographica, which is a really cool museum for photography that started in Sweden and now is in New York. Super cool. But from a content standpoint, for restaurants, I think video is super powerful. The more video that you can turn out on social media, the better.
And what is an app that you use that you don't think other people use, but you think it's really cool?
Oh, wow. I don't know. Look at my phone. Social media or just app in general?
Any app.
Ooh. I really like the AccuWeather app. It's better than the built-in weather app. No.
There you go, AccuWeather. And then what can we expect from Next Level Burger and Veggie Grill coming up? What should we, if somebody's listening to this and they want to find out more about the brand, subscribe to the newsletter, follow on Instagram,
follow us on Instagram at Next Level Burger and at Veggie Grill. Really download our app. You get $10 off your first order at either Veggie Grill or Next Level. We do tons of surprise and delight deals. So again, very much taking that experience in the restaurant, putting it in the digital space. Yeah, there's regular stuff, but there's also these surprises for our reward members. We just want to delight you, put a smile on your face, and you'll be the first to get all of our communications about the cool campaigns coming up. And maybe some holiday meals are on the way. We'll see.
That's awesome. And I do want to give a shout out to Big Earl's Barbecue. Him and his wife, they found me at the California Restaurant Show. I was speaking there. They came up to me afterwards and they said that they've been listening to the show back since it was Behind the Smoke. And the company that they called out was, I heard about Marqii because of the Digital Hospitality Podcast. So obviously we love Marqii. We appreciate Kelsey, Avi for not only supporting Cali Barbecue, but Next Level Burger. We are grateful that I get to have conversations like this. I am truly honored that we were just crazy enough to start publishing online back in 2017, and we're still able to do cool shit like this. And we can't wait to come and visit a plant-based burger, make some video content. But thank you so much, Heather, for your time and your expertise.
Thank you. It was really a pleasure. And I'm going to throw in a last plug. If you are looking for restaurant consulting services, B Public Relations offers PR, social influencer, and marketing consultation.
That's awesome. We'll put a link in there so you guys can connect on there as well. Thank you so much. As always, stay curious, get involved, and don't be afraid to ask for help. We'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks, Sean.